Hello, this is Nathan Reedy, and welcome to one of our first terms demonstrations. Today we're going to be talking about the physical and chemical properties of matter with specifically Oreos. So, if you have not watched the video lecture on physical and chemical properties, I recommend you go back and watch that lecture before you come here and watch this one. If you have watched the lecture, congratulations. And so let's talk about Oreos and talk about physical and chemical properties of Oreos. So there's lots of examples as far as physical properties of an Oreo cookie. We could talk about its shape, that is circular, its color, it has white filling, and it's black on the outside, black, brown, whatever you want to call it. We can talk about texture, we can talk about the size or the temperature of the cookie. And I'm giving you guys lots of examples. If you guys don't know what these examples mean or what they have to do with physical properties, go back and watch the lecture. Anyway, so I'm going to perform a physical change on this Oreo cookie. So I know that this Oreo cookie started out at around 1 3/4 inches. And I looked it up on the internet. No, it's because I measured it with a ruler. It's what we do in science classes. We measure things. Okay, so how can I change that size? Well, one way, just take a knife and cut right down the middle. Well, left a big mess, but now I have half an Oreo cookie, a little bit less than half actually. But you guys get the idea. I can use some just mechanical strength and change the physical properties, the size of the Oreo cookie. Another way is I could dissolve it. Now, what I got here is a kind of a little experiment. I got ice cold water and hot water. I don't have a thermometer here, so you're going to trust me. You can't feel it, but it's hot. So I'm going to put the Oreo cookies in here in water and see which one dissolves faster. So I'm going to go and just dump them in there. Let them get submerged. Well, as submerged as they can get anyway. So just talk about this for a second. So what I'm doing is, remember, even though I'm combining water and Oreos, which are made of chemicals themselves, I'm testing to see which one will dissolve quicker. And dissolving is not a chemical property; it's a physical property. So give these guys a little poke, and you guys can see that just by a stir, they both dissolve pretty quickly. But look at that. Look how fast that Oreo cookie dissolved in the hot water compared to my cold water over here. Hot water is much quicker at dissolving an Oreo, which some of you guys might guess. Okay, so that's all physical properties. Let's talk about chemical properties of the Oreo. So what are the chemical properties of an Oreo? Well, as for any piece of matter, chemical properties of an Oreo is just what it's made of. So if I want to know what the chemical properties of an Oreo is, I could probably just look at the back of the package to find out what chemicals it's made of. And I find that there's flour, riboflavin, niacin, thiamine, vinyl nitrate, and I don't know what half this stuff is. I'm not a chemistry teacher yet. And canola oil, corn syrup, chocolate, artificial flavor, salt, soy. So all those are chemicals. Some of these chemicals, like flour, which flour isn't really chemical, it is made of lots of other chemicals, but I can find out if I do enough research, I can find out all the chemicals that an Oreo is made of. So how do I change the chemistry? How do I change the chemical properties of an Oreo? Well, there's probably a few things in your kitchen that you have that you use to change chemicals every day. Let's just take vinegar, for example. You guys might be familiar with the reaction between vinegar and baking soda. Combine them both together, makes all these foamy bubbles and can make a bit of a mess. It releases carbon dioxide, and you're actually changing the chemicals between vinegar and baking soda. So I have vinegar here in this glass. I got my Oreo cookie, and I'm gonna put it in here and watch absolutely nothing happen. Okay, so maybe it just needs to be crushed up a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Maybe help some sort of chemical reaction get going. Nope. I just made a bigger mess. Excuse me while I clean my. All right, so vinegar didn't do anything, but another way is through cooking with fire. So whenever you cook something, like eggs or meat. You're actually changing the chemical, the way that chemistry works. You're changing the chemical properties of whatever you're cooking, whether it's a cake, whether it's meat, eggs, whatever. So let's try cooking an Oreo. This is already cooked. It came pre-cooked, so I'm gonna take this outside. All right, so here we are outside, and you can tell that I'm a professional filmer because I choose the best lighting settings to record my face. So I'm going to reheat this Oreo with a lot of heat using a candle. I'm just going to prop the Oreo right up on the candle, and we're going to change the chemical properties of the Oreo. If I can light that candle, please hold. All right, so it turns out that a lot of wind can really mess up a candle. So I'm just going to lay my Oreo right on top here and let my candle go out. Hold on one more minute. All right, so I've had my Oreo cooking for some time now that I finally got out of the wind. And if I'm very gentle, you can see that it's changed colors. So I've actually burned the cream on the inside and it's still glowing red hot. And so by changing the chemical properties, I'm also changing the physical properties. It's no longer the same Oreo anymore. It's made of different chemicals, which has different colors. So just remember that science can be yummy, especially with Oreos. Oh, gosh!